lefty on the mound. One of the best of his generation, Chris Sale.
Chris Sale is right there at the top, checks out every box there is.
He is an absolute incredible competitor.
98 miles an hour and absolute pain.
This is where Chris Sale is so good. I mean, he's one of the all-time strikeouts per 9.
He is building a Hall of Fame case, isn't he?
Yeah, 100%.
Yes, indeed. Getting older and perhaps getting better. Isn't that right, Blake Murphy?
You could say Chris Sale looks like the Chris Sale of old, but that would undersell what the last 3 years have been like. With the injury concerns past him, now into his mid-30s, Chris Sale is putting up numbers that we just don't really see guys put up at this age. An ERA under 2.2 this year and under 2.5 over the last 3 years. You have to go back to the 1940s. Household name Spud Chandler for the last time a pitcher had a better ERA than this after their age 35 season. And Chris Sale is showing no signs of slowing down. The strikeout rate's still there. The walk rate's still nice and low. And he comes into today with an ERA under 1 at home. What's really interesting is we are in an era where the young pitcher dominates. The Jacob Mizorowskis, the Chase Burns, stuff ratings, and young pitchers coming up and throwing gas. But we actually have a couple of pretty good 35-plus pitchers over the last several years. Max Scherzer, chief among them. Justin Verlander, Clayton Kershaw just wrapped up a post-35 playing career where his ERA was right around 3. And it's interesting to look at guys like DeGrom, guys like Chris Sale. We will probably have to recontextualize what the Hall of Fame looks like because no one's getting to 3,000 innings after this era. No one's getting to 3,500 strikeouts. But at a time when injuries are through the roof and young pitchers do seem to dominate, at least narratively, we are at a time when there are more 35-plus pitchers pitching at a top level than any time since the Roger Clemens, Randy Johnson part of the early 2000s. Kevin Gausman is included in this as well. So while it may feel like a young man's game on the mound with all the measurables, and it seems like a risky game with all the injury stuff, Chris Sale has bucked that trend and is kind of the leader of this post-35 cohort.
Thank you, Blake. You were a right-handed hitter. If you were playing tonight, how would you approach him?
I'd push him out over the plate. I would concede the inner half out of the fear of chasing that slider that would hit you in the back knee.
And if you hit left, what would you do?
I would pray.
That's the best you can do. It's the best we can all do, apparently, as we get set for this final game at Truist Park. It's Atlanta hosting Toronto, and it's coming your way on Sportsnet 1.
You're watching Rogers Blue Jays baseball on Sportsnet. Thank you so much for tuning in Truist Park in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Caleb Joseph down on the field. Arden Zwelling as the Blue Jays are trying to salvage this series against the Braves and snap a 4-game losing streak that they've seen after reaching 500 a little bit earlier in this trip. It's a Blue Jays team that was close in game 1, not so close yesterday in a 7-2 win. Here's how the lineup stacks up today. It's going to be a tough night for the lefties, but no one is hotter right now on the Blue Jays than Nathan Lucas. You see all those righties, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the Blue Jays, and part of the reason you do that is one of the toughest left-handers in the world is on the mound for the Braves, future Hall of Famer Chris Sale.
12th start for the 37-year-old lefty. Last time out, old stomping grounds and Fenway Park, 5 innings, 2 runs. But here's the key, 97 was the average fastball from Sale. That number has ticked back up. He has been in amazing form. 16th Major League season, won the Cy Young in 2024, 9-time All-Star. It is a very unique delivery. It's crossfire, it's low, it's right in your face. He is a tough customer. You got to pick one spot, hope you get that pitch. Take a look at the defense behind the veteran. In left field, Mike Yastrzemski makes another start. Started game 1 there for the Braves. Harris and Acuna Jr. Big arm in right field for Acuna Jr. Be on the lookout for that. Riley Dubon, Albies, Matt Olson. 3 gold gloves over there. Very slick fielding first baseman. The veteran Sandy Leon back behind the plate with a familiar face in Chris Sale on the mound. These two have matched up quite often. Leon knows Sale like the back of his hand. They'll be sequencing left and right. Hopefully, Blue Jays can figure that out, meet some out in front, and put Sale behind the 8 ball.
This is the battery for Atlanta, or for Boston, I should say, in Game 1 of the 2018 World Series was Chris Sale and Sandy Leon. First pitch to George Springer, misses down and in, ball one, but you can see right there, if you weren't familiar, that really, really funky angle that Chris Sale's coming from.
99, first pitch of the game. Goodness.
One-oh pitch. And this is the crazy thing about Sale, who just hit 99 again. He's 37 years old, and he's got his best fastball velocity since 2015. There's 98 for a called strike at the knees. Balls and strikes tonight handled by Carlos Torres. The 1-2. Breaking ball, grounded foul. That's the slider for Sale, the pitch he's actually thrown the most of any this year. Springer had the day off yesterday, back in the lineup today. Just a regular day for him in the middle matchup of the series. And this time he lines the ball deep down the right field line, and that's going to get down on the warning track. George Springer into second, and a good start for the Blue Jays. A double off Chris Sale.
Well, love this swing from George Springer. Gets down with 2 strikes, just trying to battle, probably trying to go closer to him. That ball's out over the plate, and he lets it travel and just throws his hand at it. But because of the velocity, because he meets barrel to baseball, it's able to scoot down there. Blue Jays, for the second night in a row, have got some traffic early on in this ball game.
Last night it was bases loaded, nobody out in the top of the first. They only got 1 out of it. Here's Ernie Clement up in the order against the lefty. He'll ground a ball left side. It's going to be a tough play for Dubon. There's no play, and Ernie Clement is safe at first. Springer unsure if that was going to get through, so he holds up at second.
One of those kind of unique plays where if you're going to go, you've got to go and be very committed, and especially committed that Riley's not going to make this play. You don't want to make the first out at third base. You can see Springer kind of going back and then seeing once it was past Riley. If that would have been able to get through to the left fielder there past Dubon, then Springer would have advanced. But tweener, see, it's one of those tweeners. You'd love to advance to give Vladdy an at-bat, first and third, no outs, but make the smart play early in a ball game.
You'll take first and second, nobody out. Either way, top of the first inning, and the pitch to Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is hit high in the air, shallow left field. Coming forward, Yastrzemski into the sunlight to make the grab.
Talking to a few players yesterday about that bases loaded jam where they were only able to get 1. They all mentioned the shadows. You can see a little bit of light right behind the pitching mound, and then look at the batter's eye all the way past Harris the second. That light dark contrast, especially where Sale's coming out of, that could play a factor early in this game before the sun sets.
Cosmo Okamoto to the plate, and the first pitch swung on and missed. Slider in the dirt to get ahead 0-1. Is there anything you can do to combat shadows?
Nope. Hope for the best.
Okamoto with a hit yesterday in 4 tries, and he had a home run, a walk, and a hit in the opener. It's been a nice series for him.
So this is kind of what you're seeing from the batter's perspective. And that ball can flash a little bit. It comes out light, dark, then light again. Very tough to pick up spin.
Fastball at the knees, good pitch, or rather a changeup there at 90. 2-2.
You can pick up the lane. You see the ball in its lane, but you can't distinguish spin, which tells you which direction it could be going. Closer to you, underneath, away from you.
2-2. And a foul back Defensive swing there on a heater up and in. Okamoto keeping himself alive. His 13 home runs by far lead the Blue Jays. See Nathan Lucas waiting there. He is 2 batters away with Charles McAdoo on deck. And a swing and a miss, strike 3. Okamoto goes down, and there are 2 outs.
That's just a wipeout slider from Sale. Such a signature pitch from him. See the trail on the end of that baseball. It starts in the left-handed batter's box and then is going to almost literally finish back foot to a right-hander. It's covering so much width. Very tough to lay off. Very tough as a first time seeing that pitch.
Charles McAdoo batting, and the first pitch is in there for a strike. Chris Sale is a 9-time All-Star 2018 World Series champ. Not an easy guy to tangle with, especially in your 3rd major league game. It's a bit of a jump off second there by Springer, but he decided to hold up. Ernie Clements watching Springer from first, jumped with him, but they both held up. Springer talking with Dubon, a couple of former teammates with the Houston Astros. Or actually not, they did not overlap, pardon me. 0-2 pitch, swave and a miss, strike 3. McAdoo goes down, and after getting first and second with nobody out, the Blue Jays do not score. Near 0-0 going to the bottom of the 1st in Atlanta. Couple of 3-run homers for the Atlanta Braves last night. One of the highest scoring teams in baseball. Matt Olson has had his hands all over the run scoring for the Braves in this series. He is one of many tough bats in this lineup that the Blue Jays will throw a little bit of a bullpen day at. Getting the open for the Blue Jays in this one is lefty Mason Fluharty.
Major League leading 33rd appearance of the season for Fluharty. His 3rd start as kind of this opener here in 2026. He's been very, very difficult against left-handers. Walt Weiss has kind of maneuvered his lineup a little bit, shifting Harris to second down. Mauricio Dubon is batting second, but he has the weapons to defend himself against right-handed hitters, and he's going to face really tough customers right at the top. Acuna Jr., Dubon, and Olson. Watch for him to kind of sweep Olson away. Keeping Olson in check in this 3rd game, I think, is going to be the key to allowing the Blue Jays pitching staff to really get it going.
Fluharty offers a first pitch home, and it's a big moving sweeper for a strike to get ahead. We're expecting the bulk of the innings today to go to Chad Dallas in his major league debut. We know he'll factor in some way per John Schneider. But there's a lot of lefties in this lineup. You might want to push Fluharty a little bit. 3 different left-handed hitters from batters 3 to 6 in the lineup. Oh, 2. Upstairs with a cutter. Fluharty's been asked to open a handful of times in front of right-handed pitchers this year. It's the 3rd time that the lefty is opening a game for the Blue Jays this season. And he strikes out Acuna to start his day.
A really good cutter here from Mason Fluharty. 92, it's a hard one. Check out the downward action. Acuna swings right over the top of it.
Strikeouts are brought to you by Subway. Get 25% off any footlong on game days. Order in the Subway app using code STRIKEOUT. So one of the righties down, and now here's Mauricio Dubon. Dubon's 3-run homer off of Adam Macko in the later stages last night was really the dagger. It was a 4-2 game that turned into a 7-2 game. And the Braves cruised from there. Fluharty allowing a .381 average to righties this year, 136 to lefties. Throws a 2-0 to Dubon, and it's outside ball 3.
Open stance. He's going to be trying to go pull side. Would not be shocked if he released right here. That's how you defend against it. You got a guy that's kind of stepping in the bucket, meaning stepping towards third base, towards that left field line, trying to pull. Best way to combat that, pitches on the outer lane.
Nice backdoor sweeper right there to Buckland. Ronald Acuna Jr. watching on alongside his teammates as Mason Fluharty works here. 10 pitches already for Fluharty in this first, but he got a strikeout of Acuna a moment ago. Payoff pitch. Grounded fouls. Gets a small chase there, it looked like, on a cutter in, or maybe actually a little bit bigger of a chase on a cutter in. Still 3-2. Seldom used changeup has been mixed in once. And now another chase there. The free swinging Dubon protecting with 2 strikes, keeps himself up there.
Yep, and this is what he can do. Much like Ernie Clement, might not look aesthetically pleasing, but look at that back leg just fly all the way back into the back part of the batter's box. Call that the scissor move. Happens naturally.
And he'll take a walk here with 1 out.
Let's take a look at the defense here in game 3 of this set versus the Atlanta Braves. For the Toronto Blue Jays in left field, Nathan Lucas. Miles Straw gets a start in center field, giving Varsho the day off. Pinango drew the short stick, having to go left on left versus Sale. Okamoto, Clement, Charles McAdoo making his second major league start at second base. Guerrero Jr. and Heineman behind the plate.
Matt Olson is the batter for the Braves. 5 for 8 in the series. Couple singles. Double home run. And he's just had his hands all over everything. Even yesterday when he didn't have the extra base hits, 3 singles. 2 of them came right before big multi-run home runs for the Braves.
Just rarely looked fooled in this series, Ben, with that kind of hanging over with his hands and just a very easy kind of leg kick. The weight shifts forward, and it's just been really difficult to really get on that front side and take that bat plane out of the length.
It's this one high in the air to left field. And Nathan Lucas makes his way over there to make the grab. You get him on a 3-0 cutter over the middle. He'll take that if you're Fluharty. 2 down. Might not be the conventional way you get them, but they all count.
And Mason's really just emptying the tank here, knowing he's probably just got 1 inning. He's going to throw all of his pitches, saving nothing. Tough customer in Albies.
Season high pitches for Fluharty is 27, although that's a lot more than his second highest, which is 20. First pitch to Albies is a good one. We've been talking about it all series, but an unconventional stance for Ozzie Albies. Crowds to the plate, big leg kick over home plate. You can see, I mean, you said it earlier, that's bordering on what's legal, where his foot is at the back of that box. And he lines the ball to left field. Lucas coming in to make the grab. Nathan Lucas takes a hit away from Ozzie Albies, and it's a scoreless hitless. Bottom of the first for Mason Fluharty. A lot of reasons the Blue Jays are happy to have Nathan Lucas back.
Let's play.
Well, Nathan Lucas doesn't consider himself a home run hitter. He says his goal every year is just to hit one so he can take that big 0 down from the scoreboard and doesn't have to stare at it anymore. And he took it down in a big way last night against Grant Holmes, his first home run since last September. An 8-month stretch he was very happy to close. Of course, everything Lucas gets his bat to right now seems to be a knock. He is 13 for 30 in 8 games since coming off the IL with 2 walks and 3 extra base hits. And the results are well earned. He has the second highest expected batting average across MLB in that span. That tells us this hot streak is not the product of luck. Lucas says his current comfort in the box and the ability to pick up the ball is obviously night and day from earlier this season when he was experiencing vertigo, and that his confidence right now, it's as high as it's been all season. He credits his mindset coming off the IL for helping him hit the ground running. Lucas committed to not using the rust from missing a month of games as a pre-excuse for a potential slow start in his return.
And not only is he helping them at the plate, he's also helping them defensively. Just made a nice play in left field. And you know, he was tied for the team leading assists last year from the outfield. He had 9 outfield assists, so did Addison Barger. He did play out there a little more than Barger, but still. This, though, is not going to be the most comfortable matchup for any left-handed hitter when you're facing a guy like Chris Sale, Caleb.
No, and John Schneider said, you've got to really force him close to you as a left-hander, meaning look for that ball close, because when he goes away, especially with that devastating slider, it's so easy to chase. So set your eyesight on the inner lane. If it's close to you, you probably have time to reach for that slider. If it's a fastball, you can release. Check out Sale's release from this angle. As he's releasing that, it's almost right on the front shoulder of Nathan Lucas. As a right-handed batter, when I face Sale, it almost felt like I was looking towards second base. That's how the second baseman, rather. That's how drastic his arm angle is at 10 degrees and how crossfire he is. Very, very unique delivery.
Miss inside, ball 4, and a 4-pitch walk to Nathan Lucas. Not a ton of walks for Sale this year. That's his 18th walk to 82 strikeouts. Miles Straw digs in for the first time tonight. He'll get the start out in center field. Dalton Varsho with the night off. Beautiful ballpark here, Truist Park, opened in 2017. Sandy Leone keeping an eye on Nathan Lucas, who has only tried to run once this year and was caught stealing. Well, that was early in the year. With a guy as tough as Chris Sale on the hill, are you thinking hit and runs, bunts, more exotic kind of small ball type things to get run creation opportunities?
Well, John Schneider was asked that before the game, and he said, how do you get to Sale? He said, create as much traffic as you possibly could and look to clip him out in front for a 3-run homer.
Check swing. Did he go? He did not, says Jacob Metz, and it's 2-2.
Might not be the guy that you try and get 10 hits off of, and you know the recipe is grinding that bat out, try and draw a walk, maybe find a hole somewhere, and then someone really try and take a shot. If Miles can get this to the pull side, he does have some pop that way.
Swing and a miss. He struck him out on a breaking ball. That's Sale's 3rd K already.
And that swing right there, just very indicative that he just did not see it. Just a bit of a half swing, probably could not see the spin. Maybe those shadows still playing a bit of a factor.
Tyler Heineman to the plate with a runner on first and 1 out, and the pitch is line foul to the right. Heineman a little bit behind that fastball at 98 miles an hour. It's not only a guy with over 2,100 innings in his career, but a guy who went through some pretty significant injuries, and yet in his late 30s continues to have as much velocity as ever.
Yeah, he's an anomaly for sure. Just kind of how his body works in terms of being kind of a taller, lankier guy, and just the way he's able to contort and really load those scapular muscles, the way he kind of pull back and just rubber band effect all over the place. Very herky-jerky type of motion.
Line drive by Heineman, and that's sinking and down in center field. On to second goes Lucas. Tyler Heineman with a base hit, and the Blue Jays have traffic again, first and second for the second inning in a row.
And you're going to have to do something against Sale in one of these opportunities, because you're just not going to get very many of them off of an elite pitcher like Sale is. Really good job keeping in your hands inside that ball, as Heineman does. Creates good tilt in the bat, which gives that ball a little bit of lift off. Sometimes there's hits closer towards the label, and I guarantee you Popkins is thinking, man, if Piñango can just catch a hanging slider out front, we could be in business.
Piñango swings at the first one and skips it into the Blue Jay dugout. A couple of heads ducked down, but everyone's all right. It's 0-1. DeMarlo Hale really had to get out of the way of that one, I believe. "13 at-bats against lefties this year for Piñango." Tough pitch right there. Leon was actually about to challenge right before the pitch was called a strike by Carlos Torres. 0-2.
He's pretty good at it. 8 of 11 challenges. You can see kind of a delayed call by Torres.
And he struck him out on his slider. All 4 Ks on that patented slider for Sale.
Just see very uncomfortable at bat. Watch the front hip fly super early. When it goes like that, you're almost always going to be over the ball and out in front.
George Springer doubled in the first inning, up in a big spot right now. Swings and misses at a fastball. Blue Jays are 1 for 5 so far with runners in scoring position tonight. The one hit, the infield hit by Clement right after the Springer double. Hit in the air down the right field line. Long run for Ronald Acuna Jr., and that's foul just barely. Boy, could the Blue Jays have used that. That looked like it might have been 2 runs had that dropped in.
Acuna Jr. really trying to make a play on it, just ran out of room. George blasted that fastball to the opposite field his first at bat. Sometimes that's what it takes against good pitchers like this. Obviously, you're seeing some very awkward swings from the Blue Jays. I wonder if those shadows, I mentioned it earlier, but really playing tricks on the Blue Jays in terms of their ability to pick the pitches up. I mean, it is 99, so he's throwing fuel up there.
The 0-2, down and away. It's 99 from a unique angle and from a lefty. It's not a secret why this guy is bound for Cooperstown after he retires. Couple of different options for the Blue Jays to turn to. Connor Siebold and Chad Dallas both up in the bullpen. Swing and a high fly ball center field, but Harris tracks it to make the grab and end the inning. For a second inning in a row, the Blue Jays put 2 on but do not score. It's still scoreless in the finale of this series.
Discover the magic of BetMGM Casino. Check out a wide variety of table games with a live dealer, roulette, blackjack, and more. Download the BetMGM Ontario app. Please gamble responsibly.
Back at Truist Park, home of the Atlanta Braves, and Mason Fluharty, the opener for the Blue Jays today, will pitch into the second inning. Through 19 pitches in the first, but a couple of left-handed hitters due up first in this bottom of the second. He'll face off with Michael Harris to begin the frame. And Michael Harris, the second, swings over the top of a sweeper, 0-1. Big part of the Game 1 win, 0-for-4 yesterday. And he smashes this one into right center field, into the gap, cut off by Straw, but with Harris's speed, he'll get into second with a stand-up double. That ball was smoked at 112, as you see right there.
Yeah, with a low launch, especially with the low cut grass here at Truist Park. That pitch finishes middle down. He just drops the head right on it. You could see Straw starting off left of second base. That's a long way to run. He's able to cut it off, but with that angle, how deep it got, Harris is able to trot in to second base.
And he seemed quite happy about it. Don Smith is up now. He'll take a strike. This could be Fluharty's last batter. Right-handed hitting Austin Riley up next, although there is another lefty in Mike Yastrzemski after him. Was double barrel in the bullpen earlier. Siebold was up alongside Dallas, but now Chad Dallas the only one throwing.
Yeah, Dom Smith comes into the game, .378 average with runners in scoring position. Really turned himself into a really nice solid run producer for the Braves.
Check on second base by Fluharty, spinning around, but back in there is Harris.
So this is kind of the cat and mouse game here. You know, you've got left on left. You're probably trying to sniff punch out, probably try and keep pitches away, because Dom Smith's trying to get Harris the second over. To counter that, you try and go underneath with slow stuff away.
There is a sweeper, but it's still hit on the ground to second. McAdoo on it, and he'll throw to first. McAdoo does his job, but so does Dom Smith, advancing the runner. And the Braves now have Harris the second at third with one out. That will be it for Mason Fluharty, as John Schneider makes the point over to the bullpen, and the Blue Jays make a pitching change here with one out in the bottom of the second. It's going to be a debut when we come back. Stick with us on Sportsnet. Chad Dallas's family and friends in attendance. You can see there his wife Madison, and just behind a friend right now his daughter Blair, as well as mom Nancy. Tons of family there. Friends from Texas, friends from the University of Tennessee have all congregated here as Chad Dallas makes his major league debut. And all he's got to do now is try and punch out Austin Riley, because there's a runner on third.
Go get him.
With one out. First pitch looks pretty good. There's a big breaking ball, the sweeper from Dallas to get ahead 0-1. A lot of breaking balls for the right.
Four-seam curveball, sweeper, sinker, cutter. Looks like he's got weapons to defend himself against different types of bat paths. Love that.
Swing and a miss. He's stuck to his bread and butter so far. It's 1-2. Can see how locked in right now Madison is. Blair a little less focused on what's going on.
Love it.
The 1-2. And it's popped up into foul territory, third base side, and that will work for Chad Dallas and the Blue Jays. 2 down, his first down at the big league level, and he keeps Harris on third.
You know, John Schneider told us before the game he was not scared. In full confidence that Dallas was going to come in ready to go, and sure enough, he puts him in a very difficult spot. Runner at third, less than 2. He just makes 4 quality sweepers to get his first major league out, handling the pressure very well. Now let's see if he can kind of finish this inning off and go exhale for a second.
It's an extra second here that actually broke the bat of Austin Riley, so they get the debris. And now it'll be a right on left matchup with the veteran Mike Yastrzemski. Dallas, a 25-year-old from Orange, Texas. Blue Jay 4th rounder in 2021 out of the University of Tennessee. Born John Chadwell Dallas. He was on the Blue Jays top 30 prospects list in 2022 and 2024. His 2-0. Heineman froze there for a moment, like maybe he'd want to challenge it, but it was a little high. 3 balls, no strikes.
All 7 pitches have been variations of breaking balls, 4 straight sweepers, and then 2 curveballs, and then a sweeper there.
And he misses high and outside, ball 4. Heineman nodding, making sure that he knows it's not a big deal. What kind of things are you doing for a pitcher when you're the catcher and the pitcher is this new? I mean, it's his debut.
Yeah, you're trying not to ask too much of them. Try and get them as comfortable as possible. Problem is, he was thrown right into the fire. Runner at third, and came out, made some good quality pitches, but love that he didn't give in right there to Mike Yastrzemski, and now he's got Sandy Leon to deal with, veteran versus rookie, but if you make your pitches and you've got good location, you like your chances.
Leon 2 for 28 in his abbreviated major league season. Braves decided to keep him today when they made a move bringing Austin Wynns into the organization. They designated Chadwick Tromp for assignment. There's a cutter from Chad Dallas. It's the first non-breaking ball, if you don't think cutters are breaking balls, that he's thrown so far in this outing. His 1-1. Runner was off, but it's grounded back foul. Nice play made in the on-deck circle by Ronald Acuna, picking it up, and Mike Yastrzemski will go back to first. He entered with 1 out and a runner on third, trying to keep it scoreless going to the 3rd inning. In his big league debut, Chad Dallas with a 1-2 to Leon. Did he go? He did. A strikeout for Dallas and a fist bump, the first of his career. And boy, does that make his family and friends happy. Chad Dallas gets the Blue Jays out of the jam, and it's still scoreless after 2. Come join us on Tuesday, June 9th for Looney Dogs Night presented by Schneider's. Bring your friends, bring your appetite, and take a run to beat the season high record. Grab your tickets at bluejays.com/tickets and come hungry. Maybe as hungry as Caleb Joseph before he ate a gigantic burger yesterday. We got the preview, we didn't get the review after you had the bat flip burger. First pitch hit on the ground by Ernie Clement, and Dubon will throw him out. What did you think?
Yeah, it was good. It was very filling, much bigger in real life than it looked online. probably needs to be split by 3 or 4 different people.
Or 10.
I didn't even get close to getting halfway through that thing. It was something. So if you're ever in Atlanta, try that burger out and have at it.
It's a backflip burger that Caleb took on yesterday. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. batting for the second time. First time he was up. Pitch over the middle, right decision, but did not get the ball off the barrel there. And flying out to shallow left.
Yeah, talked to Lou Iannati about that and Vladdy in particular today, and he said that ground ball to third base was really close because he was able to get inside it just enough, but at the top of the baseball, if you see that ball flying out towards left field.
Here's a line drive deep right field. That one headed toward the fence, and it's off the wall. Vladdy around first. He's digging for second. Good arm for Acuna, but the throw not in time, and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. has a double. He does seem to be a little shaken up. No, never mind. He's all right. And now he's Dikembe Mutomboing Acuna in right.
Well, he's got a huge arm in right field, 97th percentile in terms of that throwing arm, and he showed it off on this play. The ball kind of gets stuck up in between the padding and the brick in right field. Looked like Vladdy may have thought he pulled that ball, but Acuna Jr. just bare hands it, throws an absolute rifle. But it's offline, and Vladdy's able to secure the double. More pressure for the Blue Jays.
They've had a runner in scoring position all 3 innings. So far in the series, they've hit 1 for 16 with runners in scoring position, and the one was an infield hit in the first inning of this game from Ernie Clement. Okamoto's hit lefties well this year, entering tonight, 280 average, OPS above 850, and the strikeout rate is way down when he faces left-handed pitching as opposed to right-handed pitching. Although this is far from your typical lefty. Is this the kind of guy, though, where, you know, he had seen him for the first time in his first at bat? How big of a deal is it to at least get one look at him?
Oh, yeah. I did not feel very comfortable against Chris Sale really ever, but to actually see the ball took at least 10-15 at bats to really feel like you've got the lanes down.
Soft grounder hit to third. This could be trouble. Riley charging, and he's safe. It's another infield hit with runners in scoring position. Blue Jays do have first and second with 1 out.
Yeah, Okamoto's going to be reaching for this ground ball, and when you reach like that, you already start in your motion. See how he's already in his motion to run, and that just gives you that half second on the back end. He just takes off. He's already in running motion, puts his head down, peeks to see the corral there. It's the kind of hustle you want. Got to cash these in now.
Speaking of seeing him for the second time that Charles McAdoo will get to see Chris Sale. Rookie struck out swinging on a slider in the first. Scott Okamoto on first, Vladdy on second. And McAdoo hits one up the middle into left center. Guerrero getting the wave around third. He'll score without a throw. It's an RBI single for Charles McAdoo, and the Blue Jays are in front 1-0.
Well, he had a huge hit for his first major league hit in Baltimore. And another huge hit here for the Blue Jays. At some point, you got to take advantage of these runners against Sale. You're not going to get them very often. Watch how he stays right through the middle. What a great swing. That ball's moving down and in, and he just swats it right back up the middle. Perfect direction, allows it to get through the infield and secures himself an RBI single.
And Nathan Lucas hit with a first pitch at 98. That cannot feel comfortable. Lucas will take a jog down to first. Sinker that got away from Sale.
with that arm angle, at times when you're trying to get inside to left-handed hitters, very easy to kind of let that thing slip out of the hand a little bit. Fortunately, Lucas is all right.
Looked like it at least got him in a meaty part of the leg. The Blue Jays have the bases loaded now with 1 out. Sale stranded 4 runners in the first 2 innings. Blue Jays have cashed in 1 here. Miles Straw take outside. For the Braves, the corners are playing in. The middle infield is going to play back a little bit further and try and turn 2. Even the third baseman Riley's not all the way in. Although Miles Straw's a tough guy to double up with his speed. He's one of the 15 or 20 fastest guys in all of baseball. All on the ground might not be the worst thing. And Straw's going to ask for a challenge on that pitch. Borderline with the fastball. This closer look is brought to you by Specsavers. Did just get the zone. Really good pitch there from Chris Sale.
I don't mind the challenge, though. You got bases loaded. Flips the count 2-1 instead of 3-0. Could have changed the dynamic of what he saw, 3-0 versus 2-1.
Blue Jays have 1 challenge remaining. Straw swings and misses over top of the slider. The pitch that Sale used to strike out Straw and 3 others so far in this game. Full count, and now you figure Chris Sale is probably going to put something in the zone to Miles Straw. You don't want to walk in a run. He could throw that strike to ball slider, but that'd be a gutsy pitch. And it's hit on the ground over the mound into center field. Okamoto scores. Getting the wave behind him, McAdoo, who will speed home. A 2-run single for Miles Straw, and it's 3-0 Blue Jays in the 3rd.
Sometimes all it takes is 1. It's a 4-seam fastball that Sale's really trying to get over, not trying to walk a run in. A bit shocked he didn't go to another slider there, but probably lost a little bit of feel for command, and so he went back in the zone, and Miles just right back up the middle. It's on the outer half, and he doesn't try and pull it, just throws the bat at it, sends it right back up the middle. This is the exact type of start you needed from the Blue Jays. Put the Atlanta Braves on the defense against arguably their best starter, create traffic early, wear him down, get a couple mistakes, and capitalize. That's been the biggest thing, capitalizing on these base runners. They've had them throughout the first couple games. Finally able to bust out, put a crooked number on the board.
And for Sale, this is very rare. It's only the 2nd time all season he's allowed 3 earned runs or more in a start. Tyler Heineman fouls one off the inside of his foot and is in some pain. Trying to walk this one out, but bit of a limp right now for Heineman. He's going to wave John Schneider, though, back to the dugout. Just needs a little extra second.
Looks like it might be on that back foot.
Heineman squares to bunt, pulls it back, and that pitch called a strike. Backdoor slider that just grabbed the outside edge, 0-2. Heineman singled on a line drive to center field in the 2nd inning. Now he tries to hold up his swing. And he did. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Good take right there. Chase at times has plagued Heineman. His chase rate is up around 45% this year. But that's a strong sign, those last two pitches.
And that's what I'm seeing throughout this entire inning for the Blue Jays, really not giving in underneath on that big sweeping slider. Straw saw a couple of them, was able to lay off, got into a good count, was able to battle. This is kind of what I'm talking about in terms of capitalizing. These are the moments in the game where you could lose your focus just a little bit, chase outside the zone, but obviously Sale's back is against the wall. They've been able to really force him into the zone and make him pay for it.
On the ground to short, this could be two. Dubon to Albies for one. The toss to first, not in time. Coming home Lucas, and the throw is there to get him. The Blue Jays try and force the issue with 2 outs and cannot cash in the extra run, but still a big 3-run inning for Toronto. Charles McAdoo with his 3rd Major League RBI before a 2-run single by Miles Strawn. It's 3-0 Blue Jays, middle of the 3rd.
Well, 10 of Chad Dallas's first 11 pitches in the big leagues were curveballs or sliders, and that scans if you've watched him in the minors at all. As Dallas put it to me, his pitching approach is spin to win due to his natural ability to control and command breaking balls. That's why he's thrown more sliders and curveballs and fastballs throughout his minor league career. And he also developed the cutter you saw him throw to Sandy Leon in the first inning prior to his 2024 Tommy John surgery. He then refined it further following his rehab. He says it gives him a useful low 90s weapon that he can use to both lefties and righties, just something in between his straighter four-seamer and his sweepier slider. You know, one thing you need when you have a breaking ball heavy approach is confidence to attack on the plate and trust the movement on those pitches. Dallas certainly has that. The word swagger often comes up when you ask people about his mound presence. Don't be surprised if he breaks out a strikeout straw at some point tonight.
And I thought it was interesting, too, Arden and Caleb, that before today's game, when John Schneider was talking about conversations they had with Dallas in spring, Dallas told Schneider that he was going to make himself unavoidable to the Blue Jays staff, meaning that he was basically going to force them at some point to give him an opportunity with the way that he pitched.
Yeah, I love that attitude. Hey, you might not see me as a guy, but I'm going to force my way into the conversation. And it takes a lot to go up to your manager and say that, and to be able to back it up. A few months later, now he finds himself in the major leagues, putting up big zeros for the club. And I think a lot about kind of what Arden was saying in terms of that breaking ball usage. I heard Sonny Gray talk about breaking ball command, and we've heard fastball command, but when you can have elite command of breaking balls, you can pitch this way.
There's the cutter. Got over the bat of Acuna.
With kind of 3 different distinct shapes. That north-south is more of the curveball. That one moving east to west is more of the sweeper.
And on the ground to third base, Shokomoto got to move quickly. He was stuck in his glove, and it's not in time. Hit softly on a sweeper down and away, and Acuna legs out a single, his 2nd hit of the series.
It's just what I respect so much about guys like Jose Ramirez, Ronald Acuna Jr. Could be just a harmless little ground out, but these guys are always getting down the line, and all it takes is just the slightest of bobbles, and they're safe. So many superstars will hit that ball and just jog to first base. That little bobble plays nothing in terms of having to throw that guy out because they look up and he's halfway down. But you know, when your superstars are creating pressure like that, everybody else throughout the lineup is going to get down the line. It creates a heightened sense of awareness around the infielders. They start to feel that. They bob a little bit. You start to create some tension and pressure.
This is a guy who's torn both of his ACLs. He takes a risk sometimes when he's sprinting like that. Now he'll take off early and steal second base without a throw as the pitch misses low to Mauricio Dubon. 14th stolen base of the year for Ronald Acuna Jr. Mauricio Dubon walked in a full count in the first inning, had the big 3-run homer yesterday. You'd like this, Caleb. Heard great story from Wiley Ballard on Braves television, their on-field reporters. Dubon in high school wore number 10 because of Chipper Jones.
Yeah.
And yesterday, Chipper Jones was at the game. Line drive right field, down for a base hit. Acuna's got his stop at third base because it was hit sharply. At first is Mauricio Dubon. Yesterday, Dubon talking with Chipper Jones because he's coming around the clubhouse, and they get into actual, not just like, hey, how are you? I was a big fan, but actual legit baseball talk as Chipper Jones watches the Braves still, and they're talking about, Jones is telling him keep his swing through the ball, some stuff to do to aim toward right center, and then the middle of the game, Dubon has the most decisive swing, a 3-run homer after talking with Jones.
Yep, and another one right there, waiting back on a breaking pitch, taking it to right field. Saw Chipper Jones do that quite often in his tenure as an Atlanta Brave.
Now a tough spot here for Chad Dallas. A couple runners on. 3-0 Blue Jay lead. Matt Olson can flip a score in a hurry. Talking about that breaking ball heavy approach, how do you use that to attack a lefty?
Well, I love that backdoor cutter. I'd like to run something up and in on Olson's hands with that same type of action. Looks like Heineman's set up there.
Missed the spot a little outside, but still effective to get the foul ball.
Guarantee you, Olson felt velocity up and close to him. You've got options now. You can try and run another cutter close to him, up to him. See if he'll chase in off the plate towards the handle. You could try and go 12-6 curveball underneath. I like cutters running up and into Olson in this scenario.
The 1-2 is golfed high and deep right center. Lucas going back, so is Straw, and Luke is there to make the catch. Or pardon me, Pinango there to make the catch. They collide, and coming in to score is Acuna on a deep sac fly, but for multiple reasons, that could have been a lot worse. It's 3-1, and the Blue Jays at least getting out to start to quiet down the rally as the Braves get on the board.
The two outfielders going at it with all they've got. Straw shaded over a little bit towards the opposite field, so he had a long way to run. Pinango got a good beat on it. You see both of their starting positions. They're both running full speed. A lot of times it's tough to hear out there as there's all those fans out in right center field yelling and screaming. Fortunate, Pinango's able to secure it.
Ozzie Albies, the switch hitter, turns around to bat left. Runner on first and 1 out. At times with different players recently, the Blue Jays have had some trouble being arguably too tentative on balls in the air. Now Albies hits this one, and that's definitely Pinango's ball. And there are 2 outs. I mean, maybe a bit of an overcorrection, but not the worst thing for them to have 2 guys aggressively pursuing the ball.
You know, we've seen a couple times where Pinango has seemed to have a little bit of a tentative approach in terms of coming in especially, and that's kind of what we were talking about a little bit yesterday with Dalton Varsho, just being really comfortable with your outfield mates, knowing with certain balls, with certain heights, just kind of get a sense after many, many repetitions with those guys, who's going to take it, who's going to peel off.
First pitch cutter misses into Michael Harris the second. Pretty good cutter right there. Blue Jays only have 1 challenge. That one was a little bit low anyway. Blue Jays, when they had the bases loaded in the top of the 3rd, missed on a challenge, so just 1 left. And a 4-pitch walk, second walk of the outing for Chad Dallas. Oh, yanks a cutter right there. That'll prompt Tyler Heineman to go out there and Pete Walker as well. Big spot here. Lefty hitter coming up in Dom Smith with a couple runners on.
Great opportunity just to slow things down for Chad Dallas in his major league debut. A lot of times you kind of get that first inning under your belt, you're feeling good, and then the speed of the major league game is something that just really you have to experience, and especially as a pitcher against a really good Braves offense, things can get out of whack really quickly. They can start to spin out of control really quickly. He's done a really good job through the top of the order, kind of limiting the damage, but you don't want to exhale too early. You got to really make sure you've got your good sequencing down, and that's what they were probably going over. Here's how you can kind of attack Dom Smith, slow it down, let the heart rate kind of settle a little bit. Continue to make good quality pitches, because up 3-1, you got to feel really good about kind of where you're sitting against Chris Sale.
Also 19 pitches so far in the inning for Chad Dallas. He is returning off Tommy John surgery. He's gone up to 72 so far in an outing this year. Pretty good first pitch breaking ball to get ahead of Dom Smith. Lead runner is Dubon on second, and Smith bounces one foul. They get back to the bread and butter. Sweeper curveball. It's 0-2. On the 4-pitch walk to Harris, it was all variations of fastballs, cutters, and 4-seamers.
There's a little bit of tilt in the bat of Dom Smith. So you can go up top if you want with a cutter. Some chase underneath short. Don't be in a rush right here. Quality pitch.
They're looking to go up top, and Smith lays off. Hit the spot. Almost got him to go after that one, and then gets an accidental foul off on a check swing.
Absolutely love that pitch call from Tyler Heineman. Didn't get much of a flinch on the first one, so he decides to double up, and check out the reaction from Dom Smith. Just not quite sure. Now you've got it in between. Now you can pick your poison.
Breaking ball, and Heineman searching for it, taken off for third base Dubon, and he will get there. That'll go as a wild pitch. Heineman lost track of where the baseball was, and it's first and third now with 2 down.
He was able to kind of pancake it and keep it right in front of him. Decided to release to third base. Really good job by Okamoto blocking this pitch. Watch how Heineman sticks his glove out, kind of catches it towards the heel of the glove. He doesn't know where it is, but watch Okamoto get off the base and block that. Instead of trying to backhand it and sweep for a tag, he makes the smart decision and blocks it. That could be a huge play right there.
That gets through. It's a run for sure. Instead, you put it in Chad Dallas's hands. And a block there to keep the runner on third. 3-2. We are talking about a 25-pitch inning now for Chad Dallas. Infield single to start it off with Hurts in hindsight. Single, sac fly, fly out walk, and now full count. Pitch hit on the ground, back to Dallas, and he'll flip to first to end the inning. That's how you get it done. And a fist bump from Vladimir Guerrero Jr. to cap it off. Chad Dallas has some traffic, but helps himself out with a nice behind-the-back play to keep it 3-1 Blue Jays through 3. Our coverage of the 2026 NBA Finals begins tomorrow with Game 2 as the New York Knicks look to build off their opening victory over the San Antonio Spurs. Don't miss it Friday at 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 Pacific on Sportsnet. The Villanova guys stood out yesterday for the Knicks. Jalen Brunson with a huge game. Josh Hart was great for them as well. See what Victor Wembanyama and the Spurs have to respond as Pinyango drops in and takes a strike in his second at-bat of the game. Pinyango, after the strikeout in the second, 2 for 14 against left-handed pitching in the big leagues this year. Although in the minor leagues held his own against lefty pitching, still was able to hit in the high 200s. Strikes out there, though. Similar pitch to the first strikeout Sale got on him. It's just a really tough matchup for a left-handed hitting rookie.
There's just so much movement on that slider that if you have any sort of leakage on that front side, you're just never going to be able to reach it. It's so difficult because he's got 97, 98 on the inner half. That's why you're cheating to it, because you're trying to catch up to that velocity, but he just pulls the string on that bender away. Very few lefties, Ben, could really hang in there on a guy like Sale. Very few.
In his career, lefties have hit .201 against Chris Sale, with 20 home runs in his entire career. Springer hits it off the thinner part of the bat to second base, and there are 2 outs. That's 324 starts now and 20 home runs by lefties.
Hear certain veteran hitters talk about facing Randy Johnson, just that angle, the height and the release point, and just didn't want any part of that at bat. You got to think that Sale could be similar in terms of what it looks like left on left, ball coming out behind you with extreme velocity. So easy to kind of buckle those knees and be so unsure, is it coming? Because every ball's starting right on the body line for a lefty.
And Sandy Leon is going to challenge that four-seam fastball. It's close to the bottom inside corner. And it's going to go as a strike. Leon really is something back there. He's 2 for 2 on challenges.
10 of 13 now on the season for Leon. He knows the strike zone.
He and Sale have worked so often together. It's the catcher Sale has thrown to the second most in his career. Only Tyler Flowers, who he would have pitched to a lot in his White Sox days. Sale teamed up with more. Line drive by Ernie Clement coming in. Harris, and a beautiful catch to end the top of the 4th inning. Blue Jays sent down in order, still leading 3-1 at Truist Park in Atlanta, Georgia. Wednesday, June 10th, the first 15,000 fans into the Rogers Center will receive a Dylan Cease bobblehead. Elite pitching deserves a spot on your shelf, so make sure this bobblehead is part of your lineup. Get your tickets now at bluejays.com/promotions. And for more on right-handed pitcher Dylan Cease, we go down to the field to Arden Zwellen.
Well, that's right, Ben. Cease just so happened to pitch a rehab start with Buffalo Bisons tonight. You know, how the Blue Jays respond to the results in the coming days, it's going to be very interesting to watch, because Cease allowed 5 earned on 6 hits and a walk over 4 innings pitched, striking out 6. He gave up a 2-run homer with 2 out in the second, a leadoff homer in the third, and they were not cheapies either. 384 feet to right, 426 feet to dead center. Now, Cease threw 75 pitches, 50 of them for strikes. He started 12 of 19 hitters with strikes. The stuff was there. He was sitting 97, touched 99 a couple times. He had 14 whiffs, 7 of them with his slider. So process-wise, Cease did what the Blue Jays were looking for, but obviously the results were unideal, which will make it interesting to see which of those 2 sides of the coin the Blue Jays weigh heavier coming out of this start.
Yeah, it's interesting always, starting to look at results for a rehab start, because often, or most of the time really, Caleb, you're going to have pitchers, they're not going in there really looking at the scouting report of the team they're facing. It's all about what they want to accomplish.
Yep, they have certain pitches in certain zones they're going to try and lock in, and they've got their kind of repertoire they're wanting to do. I can tell you, I caught a ton of major league rehabs as a minor league catcher, rarely ever did they want to actually know what that hitter was about. They were going to throw their pitches, and they called their own game, and they just kind of used profiles. Oh, 3-hole hitter, I'm going to try this, this, and this, because I'm envisioning that hitter in the big leagues. And so as long as the stuff was there, as long as the location, getting pitches started on the right lanes and tunnels with the right action and shape, doesn't bother me any.
I mean, I know at a time broadcasting with the Fort Wayne Tin Caps at High A, I watched Blake Snell right before he was about to win his second Cy Young a year before that get torched by High A hitting because he was just going in there laying it in the zone. Obviously, you don't want to give up runs, but I'm not sure it's the top of mind thing.
No. He's going out there trying to compete, but most importantly, he's trying to get all of his pitches where he knows they need to be in order to compete at the major league level.
Called strike 3 as Chad Dallas drops a sweeper into the top of the zone on Riley, and that's Dallas's second career major league strikeout.
Always thought some breaking balls that are clipping the top of the zone are the hardest to read as a right-handed hitter versus right-handed pitcher. Check out the location on this. Right at the very top of the zone, starts off ball to strike, top to bottom.
As solid as they come, Mike Yastrzemski, first year with the Braves. No, at times there can be flaws with this stat, but if you look at wins above replacement, Yastrzemski has been between 1.5 and 2.5 every year of his career, which essentially signifies very solid player. He might not be at the All-Star game this year, and he may or may not be on the marquee for your team, but you know what you're getting with Yastrzemski.
Guy you can trust out there in the outfield. Is going to give you a professional at bat. Lots of service time. Talking with quite a few members of the Braves. They're just thrilled to have him. He's all about winning at this stage in his career, whether it's coming off the bench, playing left, getting some pinch hitting opportunities here and there. He just wants to win. Very similar to a Nathan Lucas type. He's got doubles power rather. Will clip you out in front for some pull side home runs.
2-2. Ran the cutter up and in on him. Yastrzemski, 6.5 years with the Giants, traded over to the Royals last year. And actually, in his Royals debut at Rogers Center, homered against the Blue Jays, you would have crossed paths with him a little bit. He was an Orioles draft pick before he was dealt over to the Giants. And now he hits this ball hard out to right. Piñango's got a beat on it, and they're 2 down.
Chad Dallas has been impressive. We were told that he was ready for this opportunity. Doesn't look fazed by the Braves lineup whatsoever. Just continues to locate and pound the zone. That's what you really want to see for a kid making his debut. Does he get scared out of the zone when he starts to see some contact? Not the case.
Trying to notch his first 1-2-3 inning of his big league career. Against Sandy Leon, the really strong defensive catcher, who is 2 for 29 in his now 15 big league games this year. On the ground to first, hit well. Vladdy with a nice play, and he'll take it to the bag. There's a 1-2-3 frame for Chad Dallas. We go to the 5th. The Blue Jays still leading. It's 3-1 in the series finale as they try to salvage this series. Help from the defense for Dallas right there. Nice play from the Gold Glover, Guerrero. Vote friendship and send your Blue Jays to the city of brotherly love. Phase 1 voting for the All-Star game in Philadelphia is open now through June 25th, and fans can vote up to 5 times per day. Cast your vote today at bluejays.com/vote. And voting 5 times is easy. You just got to enter your ballot once, unless you want to put 5 different ballots together. You just click vote 5 times, Easy as that.
Love that. Get out there and vote for your favorite Blue Jays.
You got an All-Star Game MVP under your belt, do you not? Or
Minor leagues?
Yeah.
No MVP. Home Run Derby champ,
Home
though.
Run Derby champ.
Who would have thought that? I beat out Steven Souza hitting like 3 homers.
There you go.
It was a weak performance by all of us.
You and fellow Home Run Derby champ Vladimir Guerrero Jr. now up at the plate.
Very similar.
Vladdy got the 3rd inning 3-run rally going with his double to right field. He is continuing to look a little bit more like himself. It might not be fully there yet, but we're talking about extra base hits in this series, a couple of them. Big double in game 1 and a double here. He had the big double in Baltimore last time Blue Jays won.
Just look at direction when I'm looking at Vladdy Guerrero Jr. and I guarantee you David Popkins has been encouraged by his ability to use that right center type of outlook in terms of what he's looking for. When he stays in that sort of general area, it's easier for him to pull the ball.
And he pulls it through the left side. Base hit for Guerrero, who's 2 for 3. Blue Jays have 8 hits on Chris Sale.
It's technically on the ground. Will go down as a ground ball single, but it's in the air for quite some time. Look how he contorts his body, kind of leans into that, stays on it really well. Watch him kind of bend over and contort. Man, it's been a minute since we've seen that type of movement from Guerrero Jr.
Okamoto legged down an infield single as part of that 3-run 3rd. Bit of a hanger right there, but could not connect. 1-1. Still 97 miles an hour from Chris Sale, almost 80 pitches into his start. The 1-2. Hit high in the air, deep center. Harris back at the track and makes a grab up against the wall. A great snag from Michael Harris II. Taken away at least extra bases from Okamoto.
Oh, just sounded like it was just off the end of the bat. He was able to get extended. It's a backdoor slider. I mean, just a seam or two towards the end of the bat. Harris times it absolutely perfectly. Would not have gone over the wall, but good direction, good swing by Okamoto.
Really good center fielder, Michael Harris II. A couple of times this series, it's felt like balls that maybe drop in on the average center fielder have not dropped in on him.
He's had some really good, efficient routes. Just robbed Ernie Clement earlier.
Broken bat, bouncer to shortstop, bobbled by Dubon, and they'll still get the out at second. Wonder if the debris there messed with the eyes of Dubon, but they do recover to get 1.
Yeah, Dubon sort of played this into a weird hop. You either got to go in immediately to get that short hop or retreat. Watch this ball's right off the end of the bat, turns his bat into a boat paddle. See how he kind of got stuck right there and played himself right into that bat hop. When the infielder's glove goes towards their chest, that's usually going to be an in-between hop. Vladdy not getting out of the box, and you just cannot make it up on the back end. You'll never be able to make it up on the back end if you're not kind of busting it right on the swing. Would love to see him kind of pressure right out the gate. Maybe there was a base there to be had with that bobble from Dubon.
Nathan Lucas up with 2 down. He does not have an at-bat yet today. A 4-pitch walk and then a first pitch hit by pitch. That was actually the first strike he saw there, that front door slider. You'll take that if you're a lefty against Sale.
Yeah, and quite honestly, as Braden Fisher warms up in the Blue Jays bullpen, after that hit by pitch, anything on the inner lane, I would be surprised if Lucas is not kind of buckling.
Line drive, and it's through into left field past the reach of Dubon. Off the end of the bat, just enough on it to get Nathan Lucas on for the 3rd time in this game, and they can't keep him off base right now.
Will extends his career hitting streak to 11 games. Beautiful pass, pitch moving away from him, just stays on it. Watch how he goes down to get it, bends that front knee to add some length through the hitting zone. He knew his name might be in there against the lefty Sale just because of his recent performance. Continues to get it done for the Blue Jays.
Miles Straw had a big 2-run single. That's the difference in this game. Came back in the 3rd. And now he's got another big opportunity. Just one of a small handful of Blue Jays who had seen Chris Sale coming into this game. And he hits this ball well toward the left center field gap, but playable for Yastrzemski. Blue Jays get 2 hits but cannot score. Still lead it 3-1. And at the middle of the 5th, we send it over to today's host, Jamie Campbell. Summer baseball is heating up at Rogers Center from June 8th through the 10th. The Philadelphia Phillies come to Toronto for a must-see series. Get your tickets now at bluejays.com/tickets. Speaking of heating up, 25 degrees here, even with the sun mostly down in Atlanta. The Blue Jays trying to get themselves hot again. They've lost 4 in a row, but they're leading 3-1. Chad Dallas, a big part of that. He came in the 2nd for his big league debut, pitching now in the 5th. Sees the top of the order 2nd time, and gets a foul tip from an awkward hack there by Acuna. 0-1. Acuna's single was an infield tapper. Little hesitation at 3rd by Okamoto. Bought him the time to leg it out in the 3rd. What has Chad Dallas done well to get himself into this now 4th inning of work?
Well, just like the way that he has attacked the zone. Yes, he's a couple walks, but getting back into that zone and not being afraid of contact.
Acuna unhappy there.
Using that kind of upper rail with the cutters, and then having the ability to go north-south with the curveball and then east-west with that sweeper. Just think the repertoire is good if you can continue to sequence it up properly and not fall into patterns. That's what I've liked, is Heineman's been moving him around, but not too much. Just enough to keep him off the scent.
A sweeper and then 3 cutters in a row to Acuna. And this ball lifted shallow left center. Nathan Lucas coming forward, still coming in to make the grab. .58 pitches for Chad Dallas, went as far as 72 in his minor league season this year, and went as many as 4 2/3 innings pitched. So he is starting to approach those numbers, but not quite there yet, as he misses low to Mauricio Dubon. Exactly 3 innings of work, and next pitch will be the 60th for Chad Dallas. Braden Fisher was warming up in the top half of the inning. He looks ready whenever they want him. And he's taken on, especially since Louis Varland started saving more games, Fisher more of a fireman role. You wonder if they're waiting for traffic.
Yep. I would agree. He's been thrust into many different roles for the Blue Jays. Manager John Schneider talked about that earlier a couple of days ago, just how trustworthy he is for his ball club in any different scenario. Can put him in the ninth, just unfazed. Schneider's saying he just has a I don't care type of mentality. Where you pitch me, I'm the same guy every time. Scenario, leverage, doesn't matter. Put me in, coach.
Wave going around at Truist Park as the 2-2 is swatted foul. I think it's probably a big compliment to Fisher that whenever they're talking about guys who seem to not get phased, John Schneider seems to say he has that Varland or Fisher-like mentality. Said that about Chad Dallas, has used that to talk about Spencer Miles. This one sent in the air center field. Straw going back. 2 outs. But back to Chad Dallas, because he did not have the easiest assignment today. He knew he was going to go up against Chris Sale for a lot of this game, even if he wasn't starting. And he has had that Fisher Varland-like mentality. He's looked great.
Yeah, just done a terrific job continuing to stay in that zone and totally wholeheartedly trusting his catcher. Just executing pitch after pitch. Good tempo too. A lot to like about Dallas.
Maybe the biggest pitch he's made in this outing was to Matt Olson. 3rd inning, it was 1st and 3rd, nobody out, and it was a sac fly, but it calmed down the inning. Instead of a rally continuing, it made it 1-out runner on first, and he limited the damage. There's a curveball to get back in the count.
Yeah, it's a great point. You leave one over the middle. The way Olson has been swinging it, not only this year, but this series. This game could have been flipped upside down really quickly.
Olson in the air. And Straw is struggling to find it, but he will now to make the catch under the dusk sky. And end the inning. Chad Dallas continues to roll. His family and friends love it in Atlanta. Are you a Rogers customer? It's Canada's winning inning. This inning, when the Blue Jays get a hit, you could win big with Rogers Beyond the Sea. Lights on at Truist Park in Atlanta, and Chad Dallas's major league debut has come to a close, and you couldn't have asked for a whole lot more. 3 2/3 innings of 1-run ball.
Look at that, finally able to exhale. You could literally see him exhaling, and that's what it feels like. Your major league debut. Feels like you're holding your breath for 3 2/3 of an inning, but he was fantastic. Loved what he brought up there, and he should be very proud of himself and how he presented very well in his major league debut.
Came in with a runner on 3rd, 1 out. Got out of that jam, got out of a jam that happened to him in the 3rd inning, and then retired the last 7 he faced, including the top 3rd of the Braves order.
How long do you think it takes before he realizes what just happened? Wait, where am I? Am I in Atlanta? Where am I?
Braden Fisher was up, by the way, before, but now it's Tyler Rogers starting to go for the Blue Jays. I don't know. How long did it take you?
Well, I played the whole game, and probably going through the line, the victory line, back into the clubhouse, where it was like, wow, that just happened. But look at him, he's all smiles now. Love that.
Looking for his family as Heineman swings and misses. For Chris Sale, his 6th K. He told me that you really couldn't have picked a better place for him to debut with his history, being at the University of Tennessee, and so many people from that community being able to come out here to this game. It being a pretty convenient place for his friends and family from Texas. And he gave them all quite a show. Binyanga with a big rip on his slider. Bit of a slower one from Sale, 0-1.
He said he's going to have bad intentions. A little bit of a buckle at the first part of that, but he releases.
Almost lost his helmet on that one, but it's just been slider from Sale to Piñango. I asked John Schneider about Piñango being in there tonight, and he acknowledged it's not going to be the easiest matchup. It's a lot of things working in Chris Sale's favor here.
Yeah, you've got to sell out if you're left on left against Chris Sale. You've got to sell out to trying to shoot that ball up the middle. Just so difficult when it's being released behind you.
You could argue this would be the toughest matchup he could face in the majors. Skubal would probably be in the mix, maybe in a Aroldis Chapman or Josh Hader.
I'd say this guy because of the angle, because of that arm angle.
Lays off that slider. Starting to see it a little bit more, 2-2.
And what happens when you don't have that type of angle and that type of bend with the breaking ball, you can be a little bit out in front, still have some bat to work. But with Sale, if that front hip flies, you're toast.
Fastball hit well center field, sends Harris on the run, and he'll bring it in. Better at bat there. Got some hard contact, but you can't hit anything in the direction of Michael Harris right now. So with 2 down, George Springer back up. He had the first of the Blue Jays' 9 hits so far tonight, a double in the first inning. He's flying out and grounded out since. Phenom warming up in the bullpen, one of the hardest throwing right-handers in baseball. Not a fun matchup, even if you get Chris Sale out a little bit earlier than you thought you might.
And even with all that traffic that the Blue Jays have been able to create, Sale's still 1 out away from registering a quality start. 6 innings, 3 runs or less.
He's got 9 quality starts and 11 starts coming in it tonight. This is a quote-unquote down start for him. See the frustration there. Really unhappy. John Schneider described him as a pretty chill guy from what he understands outside of the game, although inside of the game, a little more of that.
Oh yeah, well you don't play 16 years at the caliber that he has without having a little fire in the belly.
John Schneider does have a connection to Sale. He's got a nephew, he said, at Florida Gulf Coast University, alma mater of Chris Sale, and still stops by all the time.
I faced him when he was at Florida Gulf Coast. He wasn't throwing this hard, I'll tell you that. It was 90, 91, 92. Same type of motion. The slider wasn't as lengthy, so to speak. Used the changeup a lot more, but did not envision this.
Payoff pitch, fouled back. There would have been a time where you would have had Chris Sale at Florida Gulf Coast, and then you have Jacob deGrom over at Stetson.
Yep.
Everyone's probably watching the Gators or Florida State. And these two guys are going to turn into the most dominant pitchers of the era.
When I first saw Jacob deGrom in college, he was at Stetson playing shortstop. You blink and he's throwing 100 as a pitcher. Atlantic Sun Conference.
Walk there to Springer on pitch 103. A really nice plate appearance to extend this inning. We'll see if that means Didier Fuentes is going to enter, or if Sale still gets the shot at the quality start.
Doesn't look like Walt Weiss is going anywhere just yet. Looking out there, probably trying to read his starter. Looks like Sale wants it, and he's going to give it to him.
It's a season high in pitches for Sale, who has crossed the 100 mark, including tonight 6 different times in 12 starts. And he tries to and nearly gets his own out over there at first. Instead of the lefty move where you fake like you're throwing a pitch, he did the step off quick toss.
Easier play for Sale as he's kind of from that low slot. Watch how low he gets on this arm angle. Just able to really flick that ball over to first base. Good quick tag by Olsen, but not in time.
You don't see that move as much, certainly as the typical lefty move. Hits in 7 in a row for Ernie Clement. Just looking to keep this inning going and pass the baton to Vladimir Guerrero Jr. .99 miles an hour on pitch 105 from Chris Sale, the 37-year-old.
He's never been one of those guys that kind of lost velocity. If he had it that day, he had it in perpetuity. You know, Kevin Gausman just said he's a freak. Just the way his body contorts, the way he can just maintain his stuff. He's one of a kind for sure.
Clement hits it foul. As Sale was delivering that pitch, Springer dancing around a little bit at first, maybe trying to take the attention of the veteran starter. Those two would have spent some time, Olsen and Springer, in the American League West against each other. Astros and A's. Springer battled Sale in playoff series as well. It was the Astros that the Red Sox beat in the ALCS in 2018 before winning the World Series. Now Clement with a liner down in left field. Blue Jays have 10 hits off Chris Sale tonight. And Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is going to have an opportunity with 2 on and 2 out. But before he does, Chris Sale is going to get knocked out of this game.
Yeah, Blue Jays were able to really back him into a corner, not let him off the hook. They pressured him all night long. We're able to secure 3. See if they can add on here. Much needed runs out there on the base pass right now.
Hard thrower Didier Fuentes coming in. Blue Jays threatening with Guerrero coming up and 2 outs. '20-year-old right-hander Didier Fuentes into the game. A second-year big leaguer from Colombia enters in a big spot. 2 on 2 out. Guerrero coming to the plate.
Yep, 4-seam slider split. Primarily that 4-seam fastball's got really good extensions. That 97 is going to play up. Like our buddy Kevin Barker says, you better get it down and get it singing because it's coming in there hot.
Fuentes' first pitch to Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is down and away, ball 1 with a slider. Guy who debuted and got knocked around hard last year. And Walt Weiss said in late May, he's pretty impressed that that didn't ruin him. Instead, it did the opposite. It helped fuel Fuentes. He's been really good this year. Guerrero hits it on the ground, playable for Dupont. He'll have to throw over to first, but he gets Vladdy to retire this side. 2-out walk and a 2-out hit, but the Blue Jays strand a pair. They're still up 3-1, middle 6. Celebrate a Blue Jays legend with the Roy Halladay replica retro jersey giveaway. On Monday, the first 15,000 fans will receive a retro Halladay jersey honoring one of the greatest pitchers in franchise history. Buy your tickets now at bluejays.com/promotions to get that jersey of Doc. Blue Jays up 3-1. Strong pitching for them today. Chad Dallas in his debut goes 3 2/3 innings, a 1-run ball, and he will hand it over to submariner Tyler Rogers. Rogers facing Ozzie Albies. They had Braden Fisher up, sat him down, went to Rogers. We knew one way or another, Rogers and Varland both likely to pitch today. Neither of them had gone since Saturday, May 30th. On the ground from Albies to first, Rogers over to cover, but Vladdy will take it himself. 1 out.
The 29th game for Rogers, he's just a ground ball artist. There's another one on the ground. 66% ground ball rate. You kind of always got to be on alert when he's up there, especially versus lefties for whatever reason. Gets a lot of really weird bounces on the ground. So see Kaz Okamoto at third base in, ready for some weird contact.
First pitch to Michael Harris is a strike. It's been a very effective year. Interestingly, a couple more walks than usual. Now, for him, that's a very high bar, so it's not like he's walking guys like crazy or anything. And also, as Harris smokes that one at the Blue Jay dugout, even more ground balls than usual. For a guy who creates as much contact on the ground as pretty much anyone in the big leagues, he is running the best ground ball rate he's had since 2019. That's the year he debuted, and he didn't really pitch that much. So really the best rate of his career. Over 65%. 0-2. Fouled away.
I think a lot of that too is just switching leagues, going from the National League into the American League, and hitters not seeing him as often. Of course, we know that everyone plays everyone now, but those consistent repetitions, consistent ABs, still a very new look for a lot of American League hitters, seeing him for the first time. And man, I remember seeing him for the first time in AAA, and it just such a unique delivery. You got to set your eyes right next to his feet, just so odd and different. Nothing about the velocity scare you whatsoever, Ben, but one of the most uncomfortable at-bats I ever had in the big leagues.
And speaking of him at AAA, I mean, he had to put together multiple seasons in a row being really effective at AAA before it seemed like teams were willing to take a chance on him. Now a chopper over the hill. Harris can run, and a nice play by Ernie Clement. Had to be perfect with his timing, and he gets it.
Really good angle for Clement, going right at that. I love the intent that he took to that ball. Was able to get over there in enough time to have a good quick exchange so he could get on top of the baseball. This one's chopped right out in front of the plate. Watch that exchange. It's where it's all in the magic for Clement. That really quick exchange allows him to really rear back and fire it over there to Vladdy Guerrero Jr. at first. That glove is old, by the way. He said it's almost done. It's almost toast. And you know what he told me, Ben? He had to go buy one on eBay because he liked that model, and the company he uses, they don't make that model anymore. So
there's a commercial that's kind of similar to that.
It's legit.
There is a commercial kind of similar to that, although I think it's Michael Cera buying his glove.
Yes. Well, that one might be for sale on eBay. That thing has seen better days. A lot of infielders will use the same glove. Look at that thing. It's like a pancake. That's how he likes it. He can feel the exchange really easily from that type of formation. I'm sure Blue Jays fans remember Troy Tulowitzki. He had a very unique shape in his glove, just very odd, like flat. Ernie's has a little bit more depth. Look at the wear and tear on that thing, just loose. That's a ball glove right there, Ben. That glove's got some stories.
On the ground to second base, ranging McAdoo, and a nice play by him. Couple nice plays in the infield for the Blue Jays to help Rogers to a 1-2-3 inning, all on groundouts. We go to the seventh. Blue Jays leading 3-1, top of the seventh inning, and the Blue Jays facing Chris Sale found a way to get 10 hits tonight, Caleb.
You got to eliminate something off of Chris Sale. Look where all those hits are. Most of them are generally down at the bottom part of the zone. Yes, there's chase underneath with that sweeper, but I love how they attack that bottom part of the zone, trying to eliminate some stuff on the upper rail. Really good execution. They really battled against him. Loved their team-wide approach right there.
Out hitting the Braves 10-3. Didier Fuentes, who came in to get the final out of the sixth, back out for the seventh. Okamoto with a pop-up, foul, and out of play. Jeff Hoffman up for the Blue Jays, getting ready for the 7th inning. Bottom half, that is. Doing a little bit of 7th inning roll call here. Really more of a Yankee Stadium tradition, but I guess they can bring it to Atlanta as well. I mean, everyone's going tarps off everywhere, so I guess it's traditions travel. Usually do it in the 1st inning, too. Ground ball off the foot of the pitcher, Fuentes. It's going to go over to shortstop, but that'll be a 2nd infield hit for Okamoto. Now the attention turns to Fuentes. Hopefully he's all right. That ball was hit real hard back at him, about 90 miles an hour to the foot.
Off of first glance, like it might have gotten kind of the heel part of Fuentes. Let's take a look right here. Like the left heel towards the instep. Okamoto a little bit fooled by that pitch, but just throws his hands at it. Rewarded with another infield hit.
11th Blue Jays hit now. Their most hits in a game this series. They had 8 and 9 each of the last 2 nights. Andres Jimenez in for the Blue Jays to bat for Charles McAdoo. You get a lefty hitter in there now, and also a defensive substitution as you'll bring in Jimenez to play short. He did not go, says third base umpire Bruce Dreckman. For Charles McAdoo, he ends his day 1 for 3. He had the RBI single to break it open for the Blue Jays. They could not punch one in the 1st or the 2nd. He had that first run-scoring hit, and ended up being the first of 3 runs in that 3rd inning.
Yeah, it was huge. Took a fastball in the inner lane from Sale, just drove it right back up the middle. He's finding ways to make an impact when he's in there. It's exactly what manager John Schneider wanted. It's really tough too, playing every day in the minor leagues, being so accustomed to playing every day. Then you go up to the big leagues where it's harder and you're not in there every day, and there's an adjustment period. How do you prepare for not being in there every day? And McAdoo comes in after not playing for a couple days and is able to really make an impact on the ball game with the bat.
And hold his own defensively as well. He's still a guy getting reacclimated to second position. He has not played much since he was in college, and made that last play of the 6th inning as well on a ground ball way off to his left. Strikeout for Jimenez, 1 down.
Get game-changing internet and Canada's most reliable internet. Rogers Xfinity. We got you.
Didier Fuentes working here in the top of the 7th inning. Blue Jays up 3-1. Nathan Lucas has been a tough out tonight. In fact, he hasn't gotten out at all. He's been hit by a pitch, walked, and last time came up with a single through the left side to extend his hit streak to 11 games. He was really eager to get back from injury. Talked to me about how frankly bored he was in rehab, especially at the beginning, because he said you just go in there, you can't do that much, and then they tell you you have to rest, so it's 1 p.m. or 2 p.m. and he's just sitting there. He lifts this one out to left field. Yastrzemski with the catch.
Yeah, rehabs are so tough, especially when you're right in the middle of it and you're watching your squad, and you go in early on rehabs. Typically you go in early morning and then you get your work done. They work on you, you kind of do your thing, and you got the whole rest of the day to do nothing. Watch a lot of baseball on TV.
Dylan Dodd is warming up, one of the 2 lefties in Walt Weiss's bullpen. And Nate told me a lot of baseball, and then he watches a lot of Yellowstone spin-offs, he said. Pitch to Miles Strauss in there for a strike, 0-1. Leadoff base hit for Okamoto. He's remained on first since. This one is skied just back of the first base bag. Three-time Gold Glover Matt Olson will retire the side. Hit and one left. Blue Jays still clinging to that 3-1 lead at the 7th inning stretch in the series finale.
Well, Alejandro Kirk had an extremely Alejandro Kirk performance in his first rehab game last night with the Dunedin Blue Jays. He went 1 for 2 with an opposite field homer and a walk while playing DH. Now Kirk's off tonight, but he'll catch for Dunedin on Friday, and by early next week, he ought to be up to AAA Buffalo for a bit of finishing school before he returns to the majors. And while we're talking minor leagues, have you seen what Davis Schneider's doing at AAA? He has 4 hits, 18 walks, and 3 hit-by pitches in his first 43 plate appearances. 18 walks. That means he's hitting 182 with a 581 on-base percentage and a 227 slug. I asked John Schneider about it earlier. He said, yeah, that's weird. The message to Davis when he went down was, hey, go hit. We know you can walk. So maybe I've got to tell Casey Condell to put on the hit and run with him or something, because we definitely want to see the bad ball in the zone.
Yeah, I mean, it's great to get on base, no doubt, but they're looking for some more aggressive swings. I have to wait and see how he's pitched going forward. Jeff Hoffman into the game, by the way, for the Blue Jays. His first appearance since he had the really tough one in Baltimore, where the Orioles came back in the 9th inning from down 5-1 to win the game, but they go to him here in the 7th, and Andres Gimenez after hitting for McAdoo's at short. Bernie Clement at second. Couple of sliders to get ahead 0-2. The sliders worked for him in that first outing against the Orioles in that series, Caleb, and then did not work as well for him in the second outing, a pitch he's going to more and more. Oh, 2. Slider hit on the ground to shortstop. Going to be a long throw for Andres Gimenez, and it's a good throw for the first out.
Pretty amazing how every time you enter the game, it seems that the ball is going to find you when you're a defensive replacement, and he's got to make a good quick throw, good quick exchange, and you can tell when he looked up, he saw where Riley was, and that's his internal clock saying, I got to speed up, and he's able to throw a bullet over to first base. It's all about location and sequencing with Hoffman, especially with that slider. Getting that slider bend to finish in the right spot, to continually moving or be moving towards that glove side. No backups. Pitches that are bending towards that glove side part if you're going to throw that slider early and often. Like that. That's what you want to see. If you're going to go back door, you want that good north-south tilt. I still think that you can mix in and get closer to 50-50 with the fastball. I just love when he's unpredictable.
Fastball line out toward left field, and Nathan Lucas grabs it. There are 2 outs. Being a new hitter into the game for the Braves, Jorge Mateo, who has been hot coming into this series. Shortstop, utility man overall for the Braves. Entered this series having homered in back-to-back games. He started the opener of the series, but hasn't started since. Tight slider right there. He's got that pitch working right now. It's 0-2.
When it's got that action, it's got that location. We've seen it be devastating. And the strikeouts he's been able to post this season are indicative of that.
Oh, 2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. A 1-2-3 frame from Jeff Hoffman, and the Blue Jays still lead it 3-1 going to the 8th. Let's send it over to Jamie Campbell and Jeff Hoffman's Rockies teammate, Kevin Pillar. The Sportsnet Plus City TV Plus bundle has all the heavy hitters with live Blue Jays and MLB games plus hit shows from the biggest networks in TV. Bundle today at sportsnetplus.ca. Blue Jays fans having a good time so far. The Blue Jays, after dropping each of the first 2 games, are up 3-1. New pitcher Walt Weiss will bring in the left-hander Dylan Dodd, second lefty in this pen, a 27-year-old 6'2" southpaw from Illinois.
8th game of the season for Dodd. Going to be sinker, cutter, slider for him. Fastball around 94. Good hard cutter around 88. Lefties actually been a little bit better than righties off of him. 4 for 17 lefty, 2 for 20 righty. Reverse split.
Braves debut for Austin Wynns picked up today in a trade from the Angels. Comes in after they hit for Leon. So Mateo out of the game. Tyler Heineman had a base hit off Chris Sale today. 2-0. On the edge for a strike, 2-1. Two-one pitch hit well on a line, deep left field, and that is going to be a foul ball. But it was stung pretty well by Heineman, almost had a chance.
Just a little bit out in front of the cutter here. Had the height just a little bit off the end of the bat, a little bit around, which is why that ball ends up foul.
Braden Fisher getting set for the 8th inning. You could have sliced it either way with the top of the order coming up. Heineman this time hits it on a line to left field. That'll be caught for the out, but the plate appearances did feel better for Heineman overall today. So he goes to 1 for 4.
Was able to find the barrel a couple of times, and I think more importantly for John Schneider, really handled the staff, did a great job with Dallas, really helping navigate that major league debut. Whenever you can kind of sneak a knock in, catch a debut and have it be successful, it's a good day at the park.
Hendrik Pinango has to go left on left for a 4th time in this game. He did not get to see Fuentes. And now it's 0-1. At least once you see Chris Sale, it feels like any other lefty, it's not going to be as much.
I love this right here as Heineman kind of giving Springer a little bit of information. Always nice to kind of know what it feels like, what it looks like. Might have saw something in terms of his setup, or, you know, you're going to go through every pitcher before the game, your little pre-game meetings, and maybe something was confirmed there or denied there in terms of just what it felt like, what it looked like. Always good to share info.
George Springer waiting on deck, has been on a couple of times in this game. Got him swinging on his slider. Tag applied by Wynns, 2 down.
Yeah, 3rd strikeout of the game for Pinango. Just really tough matchups. Left on left breaking pitches, moving away from him. Just very similar to that breaking ball that Chris Sale was featuring. Lots of bend east-west action. The swing is level, but just over the top and running out of bat.
Dodd has had above average location this year on the edges a lot. See what he does here against Springer. Walked in the 6th, doubled in the 1st. They may not have scored in that inning. It did feel like the double to lead off the game by Springer set the tone a little bit against Sale. He's a guy that's almost like a myth or a legend, and Springer with a double to lead it off makes him look human.
I think Clement following up with a single. They just pressured him right out the gate. It's exactly what you want to see, especially when you're down in the series. You've lost the first 2 games. Everything's stacked against you. All Chris Sale's going, let's just pack it in and get back home. It's been a long road trip. 7 games, 8 days. No, they came out swinging. They showed a lot of grit and fight.
Springer hits it in the air back of 3rd. Riley will make the ground. Middle of the 8th inning, still 3-1. The Blue Jays lead. No one scored since the 3rd, and the Blue Jays will try and keep it that way when we come back. If you haven't joined in on Jays Cares 50 Seasons Jackpot yet, now's the time to do it. You can still win daily prizes, including exclusive memorabilia and a 50-day Mediterranean cruise. Plus, you could win the grand prize, which is over $1.1 million if you're in Alberta, Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, or Ontario. Visit BlueJays.com/5050 to get tickets now. Braden Fisher is the reliever for the 8th inning. You could have sliced it either way. Top of the order coming up. Do you want to go to your closer because it's the top of the order, or do you save him for the 9th and go to Fisher for the 8th inning because it's the 8th? They decided to go with Fisher, the more traditional move. And he delivers a first pitch strike to Acuna, who's going to ask for an ABS challenge on a pitch that appeared a little outside. And with a look up to the board, it was outside. It's going to be an overturn in favor of Ronald Acuna Jr., who makes the count 1-0 instead of 0-1. Strawn left, Varsho in center. And Nathan Lucas moving to right field for the Blue Jays as they lift Pinango for what John Schneider called yesterday his best on-paper defense. He said, you know, the context of ballparks and stuff can make a difference, but for outfield defense, it's about as good as it gets.
Yep, and these 3 know each other. They know their timings. Very, very aware of their surroundings.
On the ground to shortstop. Backhanded by Jimenez. He'll throw to first for the out. We are an out in now, but what do you think? Could have gone to Varland. At times they've gone Varland in these spots. At times they've saved Varland for the 9th.
Yeah, I don't mind it one bit because Fisher's got closing experience. He's been nails all season long, earned his first save of his career, the 29th at Baltimore. He just continues to get into that inner circle, closer and closer and closer for manager John Schneider. He's just so reliable. Not a moment on the field is too overwhelming for him. I like where his mental space is at. He just looks like he can handle it, and love Varland in the 9th. I think it's a traditionally a good spot for him, just in terms of that 9th inning's different, Ben. Just something about it, and love that Bulldog in the 9th inning.
Hit well out to left field, going back Straw, and Dubon has left the yard. Home run on back-to-back nights for Mauricio Dubon, and it's a 1-run game.
Well, he's not the biggest guy, but he's got that lanky, wiry pop. Saw this many a time in Houston. Watch the back foot, the right foot. Watch how this back foot slides all the way back. That's so Jose Altuve-esque. We know he played with Altuve in Houston, and that back foot sliding back gives direction. Watch how straight this ball is going out to left field. Most guys, when they're out and around that ball, they hook it foul, but that scissor move allows him to stay through that baseball.
First pitch strike to Olson. Doesn't love it. He can challenge. They have 2 ABS challenges left, but he decides not to use it. It's a borderline pitch. It's 0-1. Varland was up and starting to move as this inning began. After Olson hits, they can go to him if they want to. Swing and a miss there on a curveball over the plate. 0-2. A Dubon homer, the first run for either side since the 3rd inning. Blue Jays got 3 in the 3rd. And then the Braves got 1 in the bottom half. And a swing and a miss, strike 3. Snuck this slider under the bat of Olson.
That's exactly what you want to see. Come right back, get back in the zone, not let it affect you too much. Good tight breaking ball right there to fool Olson.
Braden Fisher gets 2 of the 3, but Mauricio Dubon leaves the yard, and with it being a 1-run game, Louis Varland will come in. Louis Varland into the game for the Blue Jays. They'll ask him for 4 outs because Braden Fisher got 2 but gave up the home run. So Varland with 2 outs and the bases empty coming in here to face Ozzie Albies in a 1-run ball game.
8 of 8 for saves in terms of opportunities for Varland. We know he's got that 4-pitch mix that he can mix in there. Got to stay away from anything nestling down and into Albies.
He's 0 for 3 today, but he's hitting near 400 in his last 9 games. He's driven in 7 runs in those 9. 10 home runs. He's always liable to leave the yard. 0-1. Fastball stroked high in the air center field, but Varsho's got room. And we will head to the 9th inning. Louis Varland gets it out in 2 pitches. Dubon makes it a 1-run game in the series finale at Truist Park in Atlanta. Blue Jays return home tomorrow as Trey Savage takes on surprise breakout starter Brandon Young of the Orioles. Coverage starts at 6:30 Eastern, 3:30 Pacific on Sportsnet 1. Orioles played real good ball since they won each of the last 2 against the Blue Jays to split that 4-game series. They ended up winning a series against the Boston Red Sox as well. Top of the 9th inning, Blue Jays looking to do a bit of salvaging in this series. They're up 3-2 after a Dubon homer made it a 1-run game, and now Reynaldo Lopez makes his first appearance of the series. He'll face Ernie Clement. 2-3-4 for the Blue Jays, 2 up. And the first pitch is hit off the fist, and that'll drop into shallow right. Ernie Clement is on.
Love that. Could not have pulled the pin and thrown the grenade out any more perfectly. It's in on the hands, and watch how he just pulls those hands in really tight, trying to get the barrel to baseball. He gets just enough of it to loop it right over the head of Olson. Such an easy pitch to retreat back off and smother to that left side, but he stays through it, gets close to it, was rewarded for a hit.
Guerrero, couple of hits, runs scored today. Now up to 14 extra base hits on the season. Lopez deals, and Guerrero will take a pitch just on the outside edge, according to the home plate umpire. Blue Jays do have 1 challenge left, but maybe if you're up, you save it for your pitching staff in the bottom of the 9th. 0-2 is chopped to the left side and through, a base hit into left field, and that will quiet the crowd for a moment as Clement moves on to second. 3 hits in the game for Guerrero.
Vladdy able to find a hole right in between Riley and Dubon. Breaking pitch on the outer half, just is able to get just enough barrel to scoot it through. He's been able to get some of those balls to the left side elevated in recent days, and hits are hits, you'll take them.
Kazuma Okamoto batting, couple of hits for him today, both in the infield. Not something you would expect a lot, but they all count the same. And this is a big spot. Braves just made it a 1-run game. Blue Jays haven't scored since the 3rd. Can you give Varland a little cushion? Swing and a miss on a spinner that's backed up there.
And they've been really good at creating that traffic today and cashing in when possible. And these are the type of quality at-bats you're looking for as a Blue Jays fan.
Fake throw over to first by Wins. That pitch was called a strike? That is not a good call. It's 1-2.
Wow.
Well inside. The catcher pops up. You don't usually get the benefit for that. 1-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Lopez began this year as a starter, had some walk issues in the rotation. Now he's in the pen. And he has brought the walks down a bit. The strikeouts are also down a little bit out of the pen, but less walks is a good thing for the veteran right-hander Lopez in his 11th season. Called strike 3. A real interesting zone there from Carlos Torres. I mean, the Blue Jays have a challenge, so it's a bit on them. That's 2 calls just well off the plate inside.
Yeah, and it makes you wonder with 1 challenge left if Okamoto's just a little bit tentative in terms of not wanting to burn it potentially. Both pitches well off the plate.
That's over the chalk.
It's about a half of a ball on the inner half. That would have flipped the count to a big favor in terms of OPS.
Bit of a break for Lopez, and we'll see if he can use it to his advantage. First and second, 1 out, top of the 9th inning. Second time at the plate tonight for Andres Gimenez. And he hits one off the fist, a fly ball out to right field. Getting behind the ball, Ronald Acuna Jr., and you don't want to test him. 2 down. He's saying, look at that. Don't run. That's what happens.
When you have it, they like to show it off.
He does it accurately, too. He's not just a guy that's going to throw it 20 feet over the catcher.
I'm not going anywhere. I'm bluffing. I'm bluffing. Why you got to show it off like that? About 15 feet high the whole way to the cutoff, man. Howitzer.
Nathan Lucas up for the Blue Jays. He's got one of the 13 Blue Jays hits tonight. Does he have one more in that bat? By the way, 13 hits for the Blue Jays, most they've had since they had 20 on May 9th. Lucas looking to drive in runs. Clement on second, Guerrero on first. They each started this inning with singles. Then a strikeout and a flyout. Louis Varland got the last out of the 8th. And he's stalking around as he gets prepared mentally for the ninth. Nathan Lucas in the air, deep right field, and it'll hook foul. Still 1-2 as he was just too far out in front of that curveball.
Extended his hitting streak to 11 games with a single in the 5th. He's meat and barrel to baseball. So he kind of hinges at the waist, bends those knees to get down, try and scoop that ball.
Tapper back foul as Clement was taken off for third there. You don't always see a steal of third with 2 outs and a left-handed hitter up, but Ernie felt like he had Lopez timed up and got a good jump.
I never loved that as a hitter. 2 strikes, that runner's right in your path, and sometimes him taking off could alter it just a little bit. You're in scoring position with 2 strikes and 2 outs. Like a good, clean line of sight.
Lucas with a liner down in right field. Clement getting the wave. Here comes the throw from Acuna. Not in time. RBI single Nathan Lucas, and the Blue Jays re-extend their lead to 2. 4-2 in the top of the 9th.
Just a huge at-bat by Nathan Lucas. 6th pitch of the at-bat. Was trying to get him underneath with a breaking ball, but went back to that 4-seamer. The 5th 4-seamer of the AB. He just meets barrel to baseball. Check out the hook slide coming in from Ernie Clement. Even with that good, strong throwing arm from Acuna Jr. Just was not going to be in time. What a great swing, perfectly placed from Lucas.
How good has he been? Unbelievably good since coming back. Austin Wynns is going to challenge right there. A pitch that was really close. I'm not sure which way this is going to go. It's called a ball. And it'll stay a ball, barely. Pixels separating that baseball from the strike zone. But it's got to stop somewhere. So that's the first miss of a challenge. Now the 1-0. There for a strike. Maybe. I mean, this is a big zone, I got to say. Reynaldo Lopez probably should have a walk in this inning, maybe 2. Line drive by Straw. That's down for a base hit. Vladdy gets the wave, and Acuna's got no play as Straw drives in his 3rd of the night. What a day for Miles Straw, and it's 5-2 Blue Jays.
Yeah, real gutsy performance by the Blue Jays offense, and this is what you want to see. It hasn't been aesthetically pleasing at times. It's not like they've hit rockets all over the place, but these are byproducts of good, solid at-bats, good, solid approaches, not trying to do too much, stays inside of it, is able to lift it right over the head of Albies. This is a good team game in terms of how they've been able to stick to an approach and really pass the baton, trust the guy behind them. This is what they did so often a year ago. Created pressure and continued it. Sometimes it takes a little bit of batted ball in play luck, but you create your own luck with your approach and your ability to put the ball in play and not be quick early outs. They've pressured the Braves pitchers the entire game.
Miles Straw drawing some attention off Austin Wynns, the catcher. Straw on first, Lucas on third. Not a bad setup if you want to try some sort of first and third steal, although you're also rolling this inning, so maybe you don't want to risk an out on the base paths, especially now in a 2-0 count. Three hits tonight from Vladdy. 3 hits from Ernie Clement. 2 hits, 2 walks, and a hit by pitch from Nathan Lucas. Miles Straw's driven in 3 on a couple of hits. A 15-hit night for the Blue Jays. Heineman will take a 2-0 for a strike. Breaks a streak of 11 games in a row where the Braves allowed 3 or fewer at this ballpark. That line drive's got a chance. That's a fair ball. In to score Lucas. Straw around to third. Ball is getting messed around in the corner. Straw gets the wave. He'll score. 2 runs in on the hit from Heineman. 7-2 Blue Jays in the 9th.
Well, they just keep with the momentum. They say it's contagious when you're hitting, and I believe it. Another well-placed path from Heineman. It's going to beat him on the inner lane, but because he's behind the ball and he's on plane, gets a good result. You can see Yastrzemski kind of gets that ball lodged up underneath the padding. That allows Straw to come home. Might not have even been a play because he was absolutely flying around those base paths. This is exactly what the Blue Jays needed. They needed some breathing room going into the 9th. They've created it by having great approaches at the plate.
2-run double from Tyler Heineman. 7-2 Blue Jay lead, and Dalton Varsho hitting for the first time. We'll take low ball 1. Lopez continuing to struggle with command in this inning. We highlighted earlier, frankly, probably should have at least 1 walk already. Some uncompetitive pitches, and he's gotten behind in some counts. Low ball 4 and a walk to Varsho. So a 9th batter will come up for the Blue Jays.
The catcher had time to call a ball.
We're going to see a challenge first, but that one's not going to get overturned. It's going to be a walk.
Well, it's confirmed the Braves have no challenge remaining.
Braves out of challenges.
Really, really good team-wide approach here as the game has progressed. They've gotten tighter and tighter and tighter, and man, it's just a big W. I can't stress this enough. The response that they came out with, such an easy game to just kind of sails going like, here we go again. We've lost 4 in a row. They just sunk their teeth in and just never let go. And these are the types of games you can gain so much momentum from. These type of games, Ben.
Now you still need 3 more outs.
You still. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. Even
just with the 4 lost in a row, I think people
right?
are holding their breath. But yes, totally understand your point.
Just offensively speaking, they needed some really good at-bats stacked together and see some results.
7 runs for the Blue Jays is the most since May 26th. You got to go back 8 games when they beat the Marlins 8-1. And only the 2nd time they've done that since that aforementioned May 9th game. Veteran Cookie Carrasco getting loose right now. And in case Lopez can't get out of this inning, this could be it for Lopez. It's a lot of pitches in 1 inning. Connor Siebold now up for the Blue Jays. Was interested to see, and still could be up in the air, whether they go to Varland to absolutely make sure, whether they try and give him the night off because they are up 5. Kind of like Fisher or Varland in the 8th. I could see both sides of it.
Yeah, you want a W.
Full count now with 2 outs as Springer dances out of the way there. Doesn't look worse for wear. And that should give a head start to the runners on 1st and 2nd. Heineman on 2nd and Varsho on 1st. Ground ball left side. Snagged by Riley, and finally, this top of the 9th inning comes to a close. The Blue Jays with 3 2-out hits in a row to score 4 in the inning. Nathan Lucas got it started with this RBI single, his 4th time on base, and the Blue Jays take a 7-2 lead to the bottom of the 9th. Blue Jays with a big 4-run 9th inning. They did it on 5 hits, and they get a little bit of a cushion here going to the bottom of the 9th, looking to salvage this series with a win in the finale, and they are going to stick with their big guns right now and keep Louis Varland out there, even if it's now a 5-run game.
And one thing I love about Louis, he is pedal to the metal. No matter what the scenario is, a lot of times closers will kind of relax a little bit when given a bit of a cushion. I do not expect that whatsoever from Varland. He's pitching the same way no matter what the score is.
Individually, I'm not sure this is what matters to him, but individually there is still a save on the line because he entered in a save situation when it was 3-2. So if he gets the next 3 outs, still gets a save. And maybe he needs it. He didn't allow a run last month and didn't get American League Reliever of the Month.
Snubbed.
They said get negative runs allowed next time.
Pretty dominant in that month. Just really took hold of this role and ran with it.
Swing and a miss. There, a changeup from Varland, been such a big pitch for him this year.
Have loved that changeup, especially to left-handed batters. Just gives him a different look, allows him to have a little bit of more room for error with the breaking balls moving down and in. Anytime you can take the eyesight further away, it opens up some holes. And he told me, Ben, a couple weeks ago, I said, how do you know when you want to throw that? He said, a lot of times I've got a great feel in the bullpen and might not necessarily be hitter dependent. If I feel like it's moving the way I want, I might throw it more often. One of those rare cases, Ben, that pitcher will know in the bullpen kind of what he has. Sometimes pitchers, they just get loose and then they see what they have in the game. Louis says that what he has in the bullpen is what he takes into the game.
And he feels like a one-speed kind of guy.
Oh, yeah. He sees red like a bull and just runs at it as fast as he can, and you love that from your closer type.
Swing and a miss, he got him. Knuckle curve to get Harris, and there's 1 down.
He's done such a great job locating the knuckle curve this year. Just very rarely are you seeing that thing pop up and finish in the middle of the zone. Starts on the outer half and then finishes down underneath. His spread with those knuckle curves have been much tighter this season.
First pitch change to Dom Smith, misses low. Braves have taken this series, but still be very big for the Blue Jays to escape with a win. Stop that skid at 4. Well, zone's going both ways now. I mean, that one was, I think, a little extra special potentially, but although if you're actually, they're out of challenges. They use their challenges in the top half of the inning. Yeah, I mean, I get how Dom Smith's feeling. It happened a couple of times in the top half of the inning, but probably not that bad.
Yeah, ball's outside. I'll tell you, 77 will take it.
For the Blue Jays, if they can hold on today, they'd enter the weekend series tomorrow with the Orioles on even footing. Both teams would be in 3rd place in the American League East. Line drive, foul. Good swing there from Dom Smith all over that 98-mile-an-hour fastball. 3-2.
Forced contact right here if you're Louis Varland. No free passes.
Ground ball to second. And a routine play for Clement. 2 outs in the inning. The Blue Jays, in their last 7 games, had 6 hits with runners in scoring position. Today, they had 7 hits with runners in scoring position as they went 7 for 18 in those situations thus far.
They've been really solid. Been the kind of flip point of the game for Blue Jays offense. Created a fair bit of traffic in the first 2 games, just could not get that big hit. Found multiple ways to get him in game 3 of this series.
Riley with a liner, left center field, and the Blue Jays take the finale with a barrage of hits in the 9th inning and a dazzling debut from Chad Dallas. They win it 7-2 here in Atlanta.
Yeah, Dallas was outstanding, just being thrown right into the fire. Runner at third, less than 2 outs, and he's able to escape the jam. 3 2/3, only 2 hits, struck out 2, and just loved what he did in terms of bridging it to the back end of the bullpen. They were healthy. They had Rogers, Fisher, and Varland all ready to go. It was set up perfectly, but the offense did what they needed to do. They created the same amount of traffic and more, and then got those big hits. I saw a big difference in this offense, and again, huge win for the ball club in that they could have came in, had every excuse in the world right from the start of this game. George Springer started off, and they just started pressuring. If they can take that type of offensive approach into the next couple series, you like where they potentially could land, but it all starts with who's on the mound, put up a couple zeros, and then let that offense start churning out. They got to feel really good about themselves being able to take 1 of 3 from the Braves, considering how the first 2 went.
Blue Jays end up winning this one 7-2 the final. Congrats to Chad Dallas, his first major league win. They'll be back tomorrow against the Orioles. For Arden Swelling, our great crew, Caleb Joseph, I'm Ben Schulman. Thanks so much. Time now for Sportsnet Central presented